let's get into the introductions because these are the semifinals for the 2v2 tournament. In the bottom left side of the map, we have our North American team, relatively unknown. It's going to be the purple Terran
Blademaster
and his ally
Infinity.
Of course, we're playing some really well-known EU pros. To the top right, make some noise. Give it up for the teal Zerg
Denver
and his ally, the blue Protoss. Again, streaming twitch.tv/Harstem. It is the blue Protoss.
Harstem.
Okay. So the 2v2 tournament. The 2v2 tournament here kicks off with an NA versus EU matchup. I love this, but we should note a little bit about the NA players here because, of course, many of you probably weren't awake at the late hours we were casting these games. Blademaster and Infinity are a little bit aggressive, we'll say. So a lot of Reaper play out of Blademaster, for example. Oh, hold the phone. I was going to talk about that and talk about Reapers, but actually Harstem is the one kicking it up a notch. He's going for this pylon, and it is not a fake out. It's a real deal thing forged back at home. If he can expertly pull off some kind of diversion here, whether the cannons are effective or not, but just to distract red, it could give Denver time to get in and double team this. Because keep in mind, while these do share halves of the map together, you're not in the same base. Luckily though, because Blademaster tends to go multiple racks and get lots of Reapers out, he should theoretically have enough units on the field here to move over and help. But the type of units here matter, and Reapers are not going to deal with cannons, not single-handedly. That first pylon's going to break here in a moment, so you have to build something else to buy some more time. The Overlord's going to provide high ground vision, so there's no stopping the cannons at this point. Like, the cannons are just going to fire off. There's nothing they can do about it. It's all about minimizing the damage. Between a Reaper and this Zealot, I feel like kind of here should be doable, but oh my god, that pylon's in range. That's got to be infuriating. Cannon here helps push off the Overlord, but not far enough to stop it from shooting this pylon. Zerglings now have speed, run to the mineral lines. Oh, again, Reaper here to help protect it. Where are the rest of Blademaster's units? I guess in production? More Reapers are on the way, and they're rallied at home, not across the field. I think one really sick maneuver that could go off right now is honestly just sending a Reaper, one single Reaper over to Harstem's base. He's going to have no defense at home, and they should know this, but I think right now there's a lot of focus here on the wrong part of this, which is, of course, this rush. But it's pretty solid defense there. Not a single Reaper lost, just the Zealot for those 13 lings. That's the danger to the mineral line. These cannons are never going to go past this ramp, right? Like they're at a hard stop. No advantage here to go up the ramp. You can even see Harstem started to go for an expansion quite some time ago. I think it was right around the time we actually looked at his base. So they are playing out of this. And your bases are pocket bases, so it's not like Infinity is locked in, unable to expand. But he's certainly not able to move out of his base. Now those Reapers I talked about earlier are heading across the field. They're not crazy numerous, but we got about 5 or so, 6 in total. There are cannons coming down. No, shield batteries. Interesting choice. Okay, so shield battery part of the mineral line. That'll help save some of the probes, but with this many Reapers, we're kind of close to one-shot territory anyways. Not quite on the Adept. You want to chase in for that. But shield battery's done. Gonna have to run past us now with the links coming in. Not a lot of longevity here on the Reapers, and they certainly didn't do the damage here to disrupt Harstem the way he wanted to. Certainly frustrating after seeing that dedication to the early game, met with greed afterwards and getting away with it. These Reapers, though, I gotta give them credit. They've actually killed quite a bit here. Oh, he's kind of given up, I think, towards the end. He gets killed, I think, one of the Adepts, too, if you're really committed. Trying to get the units out alive, though, ultimately was the folly here. Now, Harstem's position remains pretty strong. There's really no way to push this out for some time. Infinity's best bet here was just teching up, and he's going double Stargate. Lots of Phoenix works really well in a lot of these 2v2 games. The big fear, of course, is that these Zerg players are going to just flood units and the Phoenix can't lift all of them up. But that's where the Terran comes into play. And a lot of the weaknesses that you see out of Phoenix in 1v1 are covered by having just a teammate present. So they become so much more viable here in 2v2s. Of course, this map has a back entrance for both of the main bases that come through these extra rocks, provided there's some defense on the side. Reaper should see this. Oh, he's not going to see this. Wait, Watchtower. Tag the Watchtower. Please tag that Total Biscuit Axiom Watchtower and see these Zerglings. This is really good. Catching these and not leaving that back entrance wide open for a run by. That's huge. He's going to actually hop up over here, take control of this watchtower as well. Oh, it's the Total Biscuit. Or excuse me, we had Total Biscuit on the top side and in control on the bottom. Rest in peace, boys. Okay, he runs right past the queens. He really wants drone damage. He really wants to pay back some economic damage from what happened earlier, but I think this commitment with the Reapers is just a little too much. I do recall remarking that some of the Reaper play from these guys in the 2v2 tournament for NA was a little sloppy, but they still won, so my criticism was sort of invalid. You're like, okay, yeah, you're right, but they won the game, so who cares? If they can transition out of this, then it doesn't really matter that the Reapers didn't necessarily get the best value out of this opening. Oh my god, I've like never used this overlay. I just realized they're using the little emotes. That's so cute. Ooh, a bit of complacency here. It's been a long time since he's had to worry about units actually threatening him. So he's gonna actually have to, oh, burning energy from Phoenix on top of the Zerglings is not preferable, but what else can he really do? Wide open and unable to stop these Lings from getting in, and oh, with no Oracle, no way to fry him down. I mean, this is Zealot doing a little bit of work on the ground. I think Probe's being pulled back into this can sort out what's left for the Lings, but these will kill some workers. Oh, Oracle out of Harstem. Looking for the combo as if these Lings weren't annoying enough. Luckily, with the Phoenix there, he was covered. Oh, he's lifted up probes, but I think that was a misclick. As much as it'd be nice to hype up saving a probe, killing the Lings is far more important. Solves this small issue for now. Blademaster's in no position to break the cannons on the low ground, but he does have a lot of Marines. He could uproot this position if he wanted to. Now, there's this big question about Bio versus Mech for 2v2s, by the way. I think Bio is better. I think it's more malleable, and I think the most key thing is Marines can shoot up, right? Well, Harstem isn't necessarily jumping to Mass Phoenix. He is now, by the way. But while I didn't necessarily jump to Mass Phoenix for the early game, if you go things like Hellions and tanks, those can't help out at all. But Phoenix versus Phoenix, where you got Marines on one side, oh, that's going to help. That's going to help so much. I guess the big question really is what's Denver going to do in this game? So far, he's macroed like a god. Denver's got 59 drones, and he's enjoying quite a nice 3-base setup. So is Harstem now. But Denver's unit's kind of lacking. I think he may have played a little too greedy. He's pumping up some Zerglings now out of desperation, but once those Marines break in through the rocks, realistically, what's they're here to defend? Just the Phoenix and a couple of Adepts. Maybe you count the Queens, maybe you count the Spore Crawlers, but I think if Blademaster Infinity play this right, they should be able to get a really good fight here. Of course, easier said than done. Marines are going to town. The Adepts already removed from play. The Phoenix just have to come back here and cover the Queens. Marines will cover the anti-Phoenix. So even though there's Anion Pulse Crystals here for Harstem, Infinity just has to fall back behind the Marines. They're actually a tap out. Oh my god, GG! The blitz was too good! Terran patch confirmed real! Blademaster takes game 1. Well, Infinity too, but Blademaster and Infinity take game 1 here in the semifinals. Game number 2 takes off. To the top left, we have the NA team. With the purple Terran, it's Blademaster. His ally is, of course, Infinity. To the bottom right, they're down 1 at the moment, but we have the combination once again of Denver and Harstem. Okay, so as far as things possibly turn out here, we do have to consider Harstem did go for a cannon rush. It was a little cheeky and it's never perfect, but it was certainly a lot of fun to watch. However, if that had actually, like, it did a lot of damage in all things considered. Like, Infinity was really cucked into the back of his base. On a map like this, he doesn't have the freedom to expand backwards if Harstem were to have tried it again. I think there's a lot of things that actually worked with that cannon rush, but ultimately just these two, I think, got a little cocky and a little complacent about what was going on with the Terran. And I'm pretty sure they'll keep a closer eye on Blademaster for this game. But the combination of Infinity and Blademaster, they work well together. And that's kind of a key thing I've been talking about through the 4 tournaments we had leading up to this one, where 2v2 isn't just about being the best StarCraft player. Like, without a doubt in my mind, no offense to Blademaster and Infinity, without a doubt of certainty in my mind, Denver and Harstem would knock them dead in 1v1s every single time, no contest. But that doesn't matter when it comes to 2v2s, because teamwork's another really important element of it. And for example, if that previous map was just 2 players playing 1v1s next to each other, you wouldn't have had Blademaster ready to necessarily help Infinity. If Infinity dies, it becomes a 2v1. So there's, look, I'm getting into what is obvious, but what I'm saying here needs to be reinforced. There's a lot of team element play to this. And one of the things I thought was kind of interesting, I guess communication wise, was Denver tapped out of that game, and Harstem allegedly, someone said on stream, didn't even know that he had left. So I'm not sure if these guys are not on Discord or something. I would imagine, like any team game out there, being on Discord is really advantageous, just being able to shout commands and communicate with your partner rather than have to stop and type. But regardless, whatever the case is, I do hope to see better games at Harstem and Denver for sure. I would hate to see these guys end up in 3rd and 4th, but at the same time, it'd be really cool for the story of Blademaster and Infinity if that was the case. Well, more of the same. This is actually something that hasn't changed. We've, for probably 3 or 4 years now, been casting on and off 2v2 tournaments, and it's been pretty consistent that the best players who play Protoss just go Phoenix. The Phoenix are so strong and so powerful, and really, frankly, just very hard to deal with. So they make a lot of sense to go for in the first place, but then the utility of their crowd control is amazing what it can do to really destroy. We are ready to fight. You know what? I'll start the raid battle, dudes, but I'm going to have to do it off stream. That way we can just queue another one up and get it done sooner, right? So good luck. I'll let you guys know the results here in a moment. Interesting choice here. A bit of a change up. So we actually have mech this time out of Blademaster. I don't hate this, but I did really like the bio play, and I want to see more of that, but there's some lings from the south. There's these stalkers up in the front. Once that siege tank's out, this is a much easier hold. Regrettably, I don't think, even though you can repair buildings, you can repair units, I don't think you can repair buildings. So that wall is definitely the weak point of the structure right now. STVs cannot clamber around that, but with the Void Ray in the sky, it's actually not destroying the stalkers. I don't think it even popped prismatic alignment. That was just all kinds of bad body block in here to try and stop the lings from running in, but they don't quite get the body block. However, bunkers and tanks are set up. This will not be an easy defense to break. Harstem and Denver are pretty committed to this. And frankly, they need to get their dollars worth. Not killing that siege tank twice, 3 times now. Oh my God, it's the boy who lives. It's the Harry Potter siege tank. Keeping that thing alive though, no joke, was actually a very, very, very big deal. This could have snowballed very tremendously. In fact, it still might do a lot of damage. As you can see here, the probes have been pulled away immediately because that's just how important the threat of these adepts are. The Void Ray should clean this up. The probes can go back to mining. Infinity is going to lose a little bit of mining time here, but as long as he doesn't lose tons of probes, it'll be okay at the end of the day. It looks like Siege Tank plus Void Ray should hopefully minimize this. I say with a question mark. 14 probes is still pretty big. At the end of the day, I'd say that was certainly worth it for Harstem and Denver. But the funny thing about this is Harstem has, for more or less, shot himself in the foot. By pushing that out across the map as much as he did, he committed very heavily to it too. He's got the worst supply of all the players in the game. He does, however, have similar worker count to both the other players, so he's not really behind economically. He just doesn't have an army to support with right now. And because Blademaster Infinity are doing a change-up style here, now they're doing Void Rays and tanks, whatever, they don't actually have the means to push across the map and do an immediate retaliation like we saw in that last game. Also, sorry, I've just done the Stream Raider rewards, and the next battle is being queued for as we speak. Please join. Yay! Blue Flame, obviously a must when you're playing against Zerg, but obviously even better to fry up workers for the Protoss. Either way, I don't know if we're going to see those Hellions get to slip by. Probably going to be the name of the game here for Blademaster. So Harstem and Infinity Harstem and Denver are going to have to play a pretty good defense. Denver does not have enough creep spread around the map, nor Overlord spread to necessarily see where everything is. So they are going to have that kind of last minute like alert. And speaking of which, he's going to pause. Funny enough, this is kind of done around a bit of a bluff. Like he didn't know there wasn't more waiting for him, and now that he waited, there's his Zerglings out because they hatched. These could have certainly made it to the SCV line in time, I feel. They could also maybe threaten from the high ground. No, Harstem's here to defend. Ooh, even grabs one of those. The Void Race. You know what? I kind of forgot about the dang Void Race because nobody goes Void Race. Harstem's going to sneak around the map with a Warp Prism, but it won't matter. These Phoenix are going to come in here, probably lift up the Stalkers just to keep them from shooting. Void Ray is going to go Prismatic Alignment. That's when they get the bonus damage, and they just melt those Stalkers alive. And once they wrestle control of the high ground, they will be able to harass that worker line and affect Denver's third base. Obviously easier said than done, but they're kind of controlling it as we speak. Didn't even think about this, but the Nexus is probably going to go down for Harstem too. The Void Rays won't be stopped here very easily. The Hellions clean up the probes on the ground. And even if they could bring units here to fight, they'd still probably lose the battle. So, oh, the Queen's coming in. I don't know about this. There's some energy left of these Phoenix to pick them up with. There's obviously Hellions to help too a bit. I think withdrawing makes the most sense though. He really wants this Nexus. I don't think he's going to get it. Oh, I take that back. I take it back. He's actually just going to sacrifice the Void Rays for it. I don't agree with this cost choice, but he shuts down the third base for Harstem. And you know what? This is like kicking a player when he's down. Harstem's such a good macro player. He's now in a position. Oh, he's in a position where he's hitting with 4 DTs on the other side of the map. There are not enough scans to deal with all this. There's like 1 scan at the ready, maybe 2 scans at the ready. He's got to pick and choose though, because he has not 4 bases, but 6 bases to cover. Oh no, this is terrible. Okay, scans to clean up this one. There's still one running around in the main base that is going to walk into detection. No, stays out of it. Not a DT down here, but a Zergling. Oh. Well, I got to give credit where it's due. That was a really cool blitz move out of Harstem. I wouldn't say it made up for losing the base per se, but he is keeping up in the game with everybody. Denver, who's actually running away with income right now, 86 drones and a gold base, would be funneling some money to Harstem in order to help him catch up. Otherwise, Denver's going to be playing a 1v2 battle this game. And while he's a good Zerg player, a great Zerg player, I don't know if he's good enough to 1v2 a Terran and a Protoss. More Void Rays are coming out of this. I guess we're going to see Flux Veins too. I mean, this is a little bit more warranted than normal because Harstem didn't go Mass Phoenix and he's behind economically. He wouldn't be able to keep up with Mass Phoenix. I think Infinity has just assessed that he has air control and he's going to have air control. So without the necessity to build more Phoenix, he can just build a ton of Void Rays. But ooh, a little greedy here. Not sure if he wasn't looking, if that was autopilot, but just kind of ignored the Stalkers blinking under him. Trying to pick up a few more probes. And I mean, okay, that hurts Harstem, but Infinity still lost more workers than everybody else in the game combined. Oof. Roblox oof sound effect. Speaking of oofs, there's a missile turret in the mineral line. I fear that the tanks are going to hurt from SCVs more. Corruptors dive around, and I mean, Corruptors would normally actually bully this down. You know, if it's just Phoenix, this would be a pain in the ass to deal with. Thanks to the Void Rays and the cannon on the ground, though, there's actually a really good fight here to fry these up. And even if Denver gets out of here with the Corruptors, a lot of them are going to be low. I wouldn't say it's safe for Infinity to chase, but he could if he wants to. Look at those. So many of these are like 1 or 2 shots from dead. Meanwhile, I guess there was a Hellion attempt to run by. I'm sorry, I missed on that. We were watching a Corruptor fight. It's like nothing really died to it, though. Thor's out to help, too. Thor's, yeah. Get some missile turrets. I love seeing the teamwork here, by the way. Placing a couple of missile turrets here and there doesn't seem like that big of a deal, but it's such a pain in the ass to get a cannon up. Getting missile turrets down is much quicker. We're going to have the threat of a Nidus Storm to worry about at some point as well. We also see some Locusts coming into play, knocking down a sensor tower, which is so expensive and frustrating to deal with. I mean, you have to really wrestle as a Terran player in your mind to build a sensor tower in the first place. You know, it's like trying to convince yourself to take out a huge mortgage on a house you can't afford. You're like, it'd be great to have, but I'm going to be really hurting in the pocket for this. So losing that so early really sucks. More blue Flame Hellions would deal with the Locust on the ground better than anything else. Looks like that's a kill, not a cancel on the Nexus. Corruptors went back for round 3, I think, at this point. Not working for Denver. He's got to pull those away. Thors really are not the end-all, be-all anti-air. They're not actually that effective versus Corruptors, but, I mean, they'll get the job done. They'll keep these from pushing in. You know, it looks like some of the Void Rays and the Phoenix will pounce here with the Terran army. Grab me some of the Swarm hosts. A Nidus Storm is about to pop up over here, but I don't know if there's anything really to load into it. No, it's empty right now. All the locusts were used defensively. So with them coming off cooldown, I guess we'll see them try and send something in there. Love these zealot run-bys. Tanks are not so good against zealots, as many of us know. Painstakingly so. Mothership's out. Oh boy. Now the only question in this game is whether Roddy's right or not about the mothership. Well, the mothership's going to cloak things against the locust, so it's a really good tool to have out defensively if he's worried about that continuing to be a problem. But I do imagine this comes on the front line because the mothership will cloak both players' units. Imagine a siege tank player enjoying the benefit of cloak on the siege tanks. Good luck pushing into that. So there's some cool potential that this can pull off. Let's not forget the mothership was kind of, I don't want to say buffed, like lessly nerfed recently. Time warp actually establishes itself much faster, which is more likely to hit units in the 2v2 than it would be a 1v1. Not exactly super clean here dealing with the locust, but he pulls back to make sure there's no buildings to land on here. A couple of buildings caught out here as the mothership walks away. Down to the south, bit of a stalemate. Harstem, who was admittedly kind of behind for a majority of this game, has actually gotten back here. He's kind of close to max supply. He's got 4 bases. But I do want to point out his transition on the production tab. He's just finished building 1. Now he's building another Stargate. So he wants to take us to the air for the late game. Okay, this is a big commitment to break that base, by the way. I thought this was going to be a small run by, but the commitment here fears me more for Harstem than Blademaster. Who cares if Blademaster loses a Planetary Fortress? Big whoop. Harstem loses all those Archons. I don't think he rebuilds them. So this is actually kind of a terrifying engagement. I think Harstem realizes how close to death he did dance. And he's pulled very far back with these Archons not to lose them. The mothership moving out of position scumbags some of the Terran army, but siege tanks goose it up. I don't know about this for Harstem. He's going to lose a lot of those Archons committing up a ramp like that. Scans down to see that they can continue pushing forward, and looks like those Corruptors were trying to find a wrap around this entire time. Those Thors are doing such a good job zoning them out. SC2 says I really like this map. I mean, it's fun to watch. I hate playing on this one. It's too big. Too big makes me feel uncomfortable. Okay, there's the time warp. A lot of these Corruptors are going to get slowed down. They're going to kill the mothership for this, but now they're forced to commit. There's no runaway from it. In fact, it might not even kill the mothership. The mothership's going to live. Give me some pog jams in the chat. Infinity just held there like a god. Those Void Rays went nuts. There wasn't even that much ground support too. He's gonna push back what little there is left, and even if Denver pulls back all these Corruptors, he's remade an army, but Harstem hasn't. Infinity and Blademaster sit here at a very comfortable 200 supply, pretty much for both. Bases continue to expand though. All bases getting taken on this map from both sides. Harstem, I hate to say it, he's the dead weight. Denver can't shake him though. He needs him. Okay, there was a 1 immortal run by going on here. I'm not sure what the deal with that was. But the carriers, the Corruptors, the mothership masks this. The fact that the mothership lived was huge just to begin with. It's a huge target that those Corruptors are going to focus on rather than the Void Rays. Sadly, with her going down, though, the Void Rays are open season. Thor's getting into the mix too, and there's a lot of Spore Crawlers on the ground, but I should say there were a lot of Spore Crawlers on the ground at this rate. However, the Thors are not covering the carriers as they were in the previous engagement. Hold on, Denver might actually be 2v1ing. This was handled very poorly out of Infinity and Blademaster. They had a sick army combo that got split up. So the Corruptors actually got their air battle. The Swarm Host covered the ground. And I want to make some joke about Zerg being OP. Realistically, that was the mistake of Infinity just being out of position, in my opinion. Blademaster pushing up the ramp wasn't much better, but Denver seized that moment, and suddenly this game's back to even. So many big units just got lost on the front line. Most notably, a lot of Thors went down there. Thors are super duper expensive. You don't want to have to remake these at all. Hellbats will help deal with some of the zealots. Looks like there's been some more DT run bys. This guy's got about 3 kills on him. I love Harstem's underhanded tactics. Infinity, though, being pushed back. He has no way to keep these carriers alive. They're going to die to the Corruptors, period. Now it's up to Blademaster to hold the line afterwards. Those Corruptors obviously want to stick around and caustic spray if they can, but every single carrier goes down, and Infinity's army supply is halved in a matter of moments. Cannons and shield batteries won't help here. These carriers should have been canceled. Thors, like I said earlier, they don't get the bonus damage versus corruptors. They only get bonus damage versus massive. Corruptors are listed as armored, not massive. So these Thors are really not getting the job done. Tempest come out. Thors can actually deal with Tempest. Thors are actually straight up better than Tempest in a fight, but not when they're supported by about 100 Locusts. Those Thors have to fall back. We're missing Blue Flame. We're missing Storm. Where's all that team synergy we saw earlier gone? Infinity and Blademaster had one really epic moment in the game, and it seems to have all just gone downhill from there. The reverse 1v2. This is tough. The terrain's hurting Blademaster more than anything else right now. He's got the really powerful units to win these fights, but he doesn't have the ability to maneuver them around. Between the tight chokes, the ramps, the rocks, and his allies' cannons and pylons, there's nowhere for these Thors to walk. Look at them just trying to push through that single file location. It doesn't work. As the Locusts come in too, they're going to surround. The Thors are big targets with a lot of surface area. They go down very quickly. The bigger they are, the harder they fall, as they say. And as they examine here with the Thors, this is tough. Blademaster and Infinity don't have a bank going for them. Denver and Harstem are sitting on riches right now. The cost efficiency of the Swarm House has certainly paid up for Denver's bank quite a bit. Sent him through college even, rumors say. But regardless, this cost efficiency and Harstem's 5 bases have kept them in this game. Despite being down at several locations, they are now the ones who are in absolute control of this. Because, well, they don't need to push in and wreck bases. Infinity and Blademaster just can't take any fights. They keep losing ground, and until that changes, oh, things like this, yeah, the freedom to caustic spray, the freedom to just knock this base down and lose a corruptor for it, that's a good trade. Round like 11 of the Swarm Hosts. Mothership's gonna close. Okay, that's gonna help out a lot, actually. Blue Flame Hellions finally in play too. Blue Flame Hellions are so objectively, subjectively, and opinionatingly good at dealing with Swarm Hosts and Locusts. Well, more like dealing with the Locusts. They're not so good at dealing with Swarm Hosts. But my point stands where we've had more Thors and less Hellions, and that's been a big part of why they're not holding these fights very well. Now that we're seeing more Hellions come into play, I'm liking this a lot more for Infinity. But it's not just about Denver. As you just witnessed here, Harstem's Zealot run by just shredded so many SCVs off this base. Well, they held it, and it was an impressive hold. Still lost out on a lot of workers. This mothership is huge, though. That cloak that she can provide is going to be a big deal with no scans from the other team to detect. But out of position for the Locust. Protects the army, loses the base. They got to make something happen, guys. They can't just play defensive for the rest of this game or it's already over. So they're going to try their best efforts to wrap around to the south side here. And it comes in a little too late. That gold base has been mined out. This is not an important base anymore. This is not a base that needs to be contested at all. And the Thors are being kind of defeated by the terrain once more. The Tempest will quit being such cowards and fight these Thors like real men. Sorry, Harstem. The Tempest would actually not fare that well. But because of the terrain and because Harstem is very, on purpose, been staying out of range, this has been brutal for Blademaster. You just can't get in there for the fight. And the Tempest, of course, have bonus damage versus massive. Everything here is meant to kill carriers. This is a great composition, but not good enough. GG. Denver and Harstem tie up the series 1-1. So this is game number 3. And the scores are tied up 1-1 in the best of 5 semifinals. With a little bit of claps in the background, I'm happy to introduce to the top left, the North American players!
Blademaster and Infinity.
I hope you keep making some noise to give it up for the EU pros in the bottom right. You took a 1v2! Ladies and gentlemen, it's
Denver.
And his ally, streaming on Twitch. It's going to be the Blue Protoss.
Harstem.
Okay. I love that thing so much. We actually saw a really funny mistake out of Denver in the 2v2 tournament he played in getting here. And on one of the maps, well, he didn't lose to this against Dew and Frosty Deo. He did wall off incorrectly. And this is a map where you can do that. You can accidentally wall off towards your natural if you don't know what you're doing. But We actually have a bit of a change up here. So Blastbot back on for the fact that there's a cannon rush going down. Infinity does manage to lock himself into a nice little spot here. One cannon, two cannons. Nope, one cannon and a pylon. Squeeze me. He actually lets the other three finish, but that's not going to be good enough. This probe is now the real threat when it comes to this cannon rush. Obviously, Harstem's doing what he can to handle this. Probe's pulled off the line. Zealot's being made. We also have Denver pumping out what is going to be Zerglings, but those Zerglings are probably going to go across the field. I don't know how much they're going to muck around with the cannons. I'm really shocked he let that extra pylon finish, by the way. Having 4 pylons for this seems a little excessive. Because even if this isn't for cannons and it's more for something else... Oh, he doesn't have high ground vision. That's brutal. I was going to say, that's less surface area. You could even put down the shield batteries or the robo, but he's going to unload this probe, so to speak, by killing the pylon and then try to run up to the high ground to provide some vision. But getting there is not going to be easy. We actually have another probe coming in. We got a Reaper as well. Blademaster's Reaper is going to be able to support the high ground vision here a lot better than that probe would. Pylon has to go down to build a little bit, buy some time. Reaper falls back. Other probe's still standing. Oh, the shield battery out of Harstem's going to play really well in this one. The Reaper control out of Blademaster, though, very, very important. As long as that Reaper's alive, nothing here is going to have an easy time stopping that probe. He does manage to stop the probe, though. Remember, there's another one on the low ground, though. So it's not over for the cannon rush yet, but the high ground shenanigans are pretty much done for. That pylon is going to get slowly removed over time. Harstem is also very precise. I love the precision here. He's pulled off a very specific amount of probes so that he can still continue mining. However, the Reaper problem from Blademaster still persists. And while Denver finally does have Zergling speed, I guess it's going to be a weird 1v1 tango between the Terran and the Zerg for this. Break down the rocks is an option. Take the southern path and maybe catch Blademaster off guard. But I mean, there's a wall. There should be lifted. There should be a wall off. Lings won't be able to get in on either side. Actually, I take that back. Harstem's so sick. He put this pylon here. The pylon will block off the easy wall off for Infinity. If he wants to wall this off, he has to spend a lot of money. So that's a little unfortunate. This is where Blademaster might, be a bro and put a supply depot over there or something to help out. But he's not gonna see the Lings on the rocks. Right now. The cannon being dealt with, and Infinity is in a very weird spot. Neither player has knowledge of Denver's Lings. Not yet. He's about to. Now he scouts them. The rocks are almost dead, though. Reaper's dead, too. Infinity's really got to get this wall situation sorted right now. He has no means to defend this otherwise. Denver should be able to run straight through. Reapers can follow, and Reapers plus cannons could be a defense, but pylon and pylon. He needs 2 pylons right freaking now, and he's got the money for it, but he's not doing it. So the Lings are going to run right in. Oh, no. This is really bad for our top team now. You can see the probes being pulled away immediately. Denver gets on top of the cannon, forcing that cancel. Here comes the Reapers to save the day, but this was quite the costly endeavor, all because of a little bit of complacency. They both knew those Lings were coming. He scouted that with the Reapers. That is 100% on the fault of Infinity. He obviously snapped decision, wanted to do it, but did it way too late. So he lost a significant amount of mining to that. 5 probes to boot. Not feeling good. Funny enough, if the Reapers are all together, they could totally take on that army, but streaming in like that, certainly not. There's not really going to be a threat to the bottom side, right? Like Blademaster, as long as he doesn't leave the depots down on accident or something, he will be covered. At least against small run buys. Anything more committed, or anything that he has to shoot up for could be a problem. Infinity going to really feel the burn of this. There's no Marines and there's no missile turrets. Blademaster has to be cautious too. If that Oracle had picked him, he would have been in trouble as well. Gangsters are coming out there to deal with this. Harstem's aggression comes to a pause, and he's been expanding while we've been speaking. Worker count really suffering for everybody except Denver. Denver's doing the Zerg thingy thing, and he just built a bunch of drones instead of more Zerglings, so he's actually got a pretty explosive economy. Thank Dr. Pepto-Bismol for that. You could also send that money over to Harstem, though, and help him play catch up. We'll see what he does with that. For now, oh no, that's opened the wall again, though. If he actually didn't kill a pylon, oh my god. This wall position has fucked with Infinity in the worst way possible. And while this doesn't look like crazy big damage, this is all totally avoidable damage. So any one probe that dies from this didn't need to die to this. I'm being a little overly critical of Infinity, forgive me, but it's yikes. Just watching this continue to fold over and be a problem again and again is tough to watch. Harstem's not exactly rushing to Phoenix, but he does have a Stargate down. The option's there if he wants it. Denver, I'm still not really sure what his plans are. Like right now he's been building roaches, but roaches are something I feel like Zerg players do when they just feel like they need to get stuff out. Spend that money, use that macro. If it is going to be just like a concentrated amount of roaches though, that is going to be overwhelming to deal with. As there's no siege tanks and the +1 for the bio is not going to be here for a bit of time. I feel like the roaches and the stalker should play really well, whether it's defensive or offensive. The only way I see Denver and Harstem getting in trouble, or really any player in this game, is just being out of position. So kind of like this. A little out there, a little exposed. Reapers can't help shoot what's in the sky. A little sad to see there. The roaches can't shoot up at all. So as long as the stalkers die, the Phoenix, of course, are going to be king, but the stalkers aren't dying, so the Phoenix have to pull back. I do love this, though. The Reapers will not be useless as the game goes on. Throwing down a bunch of grenades like this, it might be just to buy time here. Like, it does buy time here. But it's going to split these roaches for the main fight. And if he's got the micro for it, just move the Marines and micro the Reapers. I think we're going to see a really, really tough battle for Denver to control around this, because he's going to have to deal with that Reaper crowd control and the Phoenix crowd control. Of course, he's backed up by Harstem, though, so it's not alone. These stalkers do walk forward. They've already burned their blink once. Oh, grabs us with the weak Phoenix, though. Still manages to get the kill on the stalker. Focuses the other one. The roaches try and break through that little choke, but it's not going to work like it did with the Lings. Oh, no. I don't know what that medevac was doing there. The Reapers push forward into the roaches. That's a lot of bio to push into this. This is a lot of confidence brimming from Purple, but the fact that they're going to pick off a lot of these roaches on their retreat's going to feel really good. He actually stims ahead, maybe getting a little ahead of himself. Where are those medevacs? There we go. Medevac support going to be crucial, healing all this up. That's a lot of damage taken. Reapers, of course, will heal themselves. They're going to try and catch this roach. Okay, so Denver's doing a really annoying tactic that you just send a unit to these bases and delay them from going down. That's a painful, frustrating thing to deal with. It was a bit of a delay there for Infinity to the top. Denver's, though, still continuing to explode with supply in this game. You know, he pulled back with a lot of the roaches. Now he's moving towards infestors. Fungal growth versus this many Marines and Phoenix are going to be, it's going to be phenomenal. Oh, both Grape Dreamers get killed. Still, though, fungals and infestors are a fair bit out. We got Hydras as the transition as well. Of course, you got to kind of pick and choose, though. Hydras and infestors are both pretty gas expensive. So you get either a very small amount of infestors or a very small amount of Hydras, but not both. This timing, though, very critical. Remember, those infestors are going to spawn with enough energy. They've got pathogen glands. This whole Terran army falls apart with 2 bad fungals, or 2 good fungals, depending on your point of view. Of course, a big target for that is the Phoenix as well. They're going to be stacked up one on top of each other. Look, fungal growth deals 30 damage. On its own, against one unit, that's nothing. But when it's hitting twice the units, that's going to be crazy big damage. Like, theoretically, 30 damage to 68 Marines and 16 Phoenix all in one good fungal. Okay, that's a little over-exaggerating, but it's still way too much damage to deal with. Infinity has actually got to get some more Phoenix out here. He does see those infestors. He's got to be very cautious. Both players have got to be very cautious. Siege Tank's going to be here to help zone out those infestors. I kind of wish we'd see a drop going elsewhere, actually. If Blademaster could just pull off, go north or something. Harstem's all in here on the front line. I don't think there's any defense back at home. A couple shield batteries. Regrettably, they're not going to think about that. They're focused here very much on what they see, and what they see is a Protoss army trying to wrap around the sides. Oh, lifts up the Phoenix, or excuse me, the High Templar with the Phoenix. Big snipes, big kills, no feedbacks, no Archons. And he's getting the sentries to boot too. Oh, stalkers as well. Who cares? Who gives a goddamn? Just kill them all. Just kill them all. Speaking of killing them all, Denver starts pushing back into this. Blademaster does eat a fungal in the ass, but luckily he escapes with most of the army. I'm going to assume another fungal broke it and sent that into retreat in the first place. Nice moves out of Denver. Infinity, though, taking a losing battle. Harstem's going to reinforce these stalkers, and they're not actually dying in their liftoffs. A lot of these stalkers on the ground with no health means that was a failed pickup from the Phoenix. Infinity loses that fight very badly. Oh, he's going to fly over top of these infestors, though. Grabbing these, though, makes up for the loss against those stalkers for sure. Big fungal out of Denver, though, right before going down. Fester actually sneaks out of there alive. Pushing into this, the Liberator falls. The concave of Marines is looking pretty solid, but it's 176 army supply out of Denver. A hell of a lot of roaches pushing into this bio. Makes up to retreat to the high ground, but he's got 2 players to deal with. Infinity, where are you, bro? 69 probes, and not a goddamn thing. 3 Stargates are on the way, coming down way too late. GG. Harstem and Denver take game 3. All right, welcome back. It's game number 4. As you can see here, score reflecting at the bottom. These guys are trailing now, the 2v2 NA pros. We do have the combination once more of the Purple Terran Blademaster and the Teal Protoss Infinity. The top right, we have the Red Zerg. Coming in once more from France, it's Denver. And at the top, we got the Blue Protoss, my dude Harstem. And Boggy Creekmancer. Whoa. Boggy Creekomancer. A brand new type of warlock, I guess. Boggy Creek Monster, thank you for purchasing the flag bearer skin, man. I guess you're going for the full collectible set. Quick note too, for the actual skins coming out next, we have a tank skin that looks like a Dalek from Doctor Who, but for legal reasons isn't. That's Mike Zeckham's skin. And then we have a Pinata Buster coming up too. So, well, I'm not telling you guys to rush out and buy them or anything. Just letting you know what's kind of in the pipeline. And of course, we've got our epic one we earned from the Skinathon. The little vampire guy that's still being worked on. And yeah, we got a lot of skins still coming out for this game. I love this goddamn game. Anyways, I love StarCraft 2 as well, and that's why we're hosting a lot of tournaments on it. What? Okay, so wait, real quick, before I shut this out. We learned recently on Angel's stream, sorry, I know for the StarCraft people out there, you're like, what are you talking about? We're talking about Stream Raiders. If you don't know what Stream Raiders is, just give me a minute, okay? Stream Raiders is paying for my rent right now, what StarCraft is. We learned recently on Angel's stream that apparently the unit you place down most recently would be the unit you get a skin for. So let's say, like, theoretically, you put down a musketeer and someone like Mike comes around, big baller, gifts out 20 skins, and you happen to win one of them, you'll get the $10 Marine skin. Just a fun little fact we learned about recently. Anyways, Mike Zeckham, for those who don't know, that's like a $100 dealio. Just gifted out 20 skins to the community. So be sure to check your notifications to see if you got a skin or not. Thank you so much, Mike, obviously, first and foremost. And I hope everybody who gets a skin enjoys playing with it. Oh, the probe did a little GG before dying. Yeah, I guess you can't see through the fog of war. Mike, always the nice guy. Dude, Mike is my fucking rock right now. I'm gonna be honest, guys. If I ever like stop streaming, it's probably because Mike stopped watching. Obviously, I'm just teasing him a bit, but Mike, thank you so much. In all honesty, you are my rock, dude. Thank you. What happens if you already own the skin for the last year? But I don't know. We just figured out that we always thought it was like people who were just in the channel or whatever, and it was just random, but it's not. So we at least know now a little bit more about the skin gifting system, and maybe how to game it a bit. Now, Harstem marches just across the map with these adepts, but nice block out of Infinity. You know, didn't quite pull that off last time. Pulls it off this time quite masterfully. 2 stalkers. Ooh, hopefully doesn't bleed out all the Reapers. He's gonna catch up with the transfer. Cowards, they split off. They could have totally saved him with a grenade. Rest in pepperonis, dude. All right, minor trades here for the early game. Nothing too crazy. A little bit of unit loss here, a little bit of unit loss there. Denver has kind of been the silent killer in a lot of these games. Not quite silent because he's been very, very on the front line with his units, but I mean, he plays this kind of steady macro game. He just gets up to workers before everybody else and then explodes with his crazy income, but not this game. This game, he stops his workers at a hard 25. He's building 18 links, probably more to go with this as well. I have to imagine this commitment is not something taken lightly, and the 2v1 team up has to be against the Protoss. Blademaster, of course, will just be able to rebuild his wall and repair it over and over and over again. So if Denver is looking to commit to an all-in, it's going to be on the bottom side. It's going to be on the Protoss. And while this Reaper does finally get cleaned up, I mean, Harstem's got a ton of adepts to assist with. Right now, they're just trying to keep the doors open without making it too obvious. But I think, like, the jig is up. As they march across the field, here's all the Zerglings. I mean, that's a free natural base. No question about it. Oh, the Deepos are down. Okay, let's the Depot. Gets a surround on one of these Reapers. Almost gets the Reaper. Does kill the Reaper midair. Oh, he does a bit of a jump, too. Rocket packs are cool. Look, his shield battery's up, and normally this would be a much bigger problem for the attacker, but because it's 2v1, the adept transfer in on top of this, the Zerglings have that surround. Probes get pulled into the fight. Infinity can't fight this alone. Blademaster's units come in, but they're too little and too late. It's like a handful of Reapers. He doesn't get up to that massive critical count. Even though the walls are being rebuilt, these are not his. I know it's colorblind unfriendly, but these are Harstem's adepts inside Infinity's base. Infinity has no adepts to speak of whatsoever. Just a small handful of stalkers. Zerglings, for some reason, turn their attention from this base over to the Terran. Maybe they feel they've just done enough damage to him as is. But I think collapsing on this, killing this player off and making it a 2v1 is like a for sure way to secure victory. Adepts got the probes. Infinity's really not left with much at this point. Yeah, Denver's handling these stalkers quite well, actually. The shield battery's unpowered as we speak. Blink has proven to be quite the nuisance, as it keeps escaping death a few times here, a few times there, but Harstem's going to transfer up now, and if the Lings didn't already have this on their own, the Adepts would. GG's get called. Congratulations to Denver and Harstem. They're taking a while to pick the map, though. I don't want to squeeze in another commercial break, but might just do it. Aww.